This is Pat's Trains UK 1 Dapol Class 73, straight out of the box. It is in BR blue and has the number 73120. Here is the initial dismantling with the body taken off. I have now unscrewed the circuit board. The next job is unsoldering all the wire connections from the circuit board. With the removal of all that, then the grey plastic shroud can also then be removed. I then unclip the bogies from the main metal frame and then proceed to unclip the outer chassis from the inner chassis. The inner chassis has the wheels and the gears, and in this picture I have completely dismantled the wheels from the axles, separated the plastic gears, which is what I require. I also require the bearings. This shows the problems with each outer bogie chassis, and I think each of these bogies is made up of probably at least 40 separate parts, and some of them just fall apart. Some are not positioned correctly with the glue. This picture shows the problems when trying to fit wider wheels. Remember that P4 wheels are at least 2.3 millimeters wider than 00 gauge wheels. The problem here are the brake rigging and those wires between the two brakes, and as you can see, some of them are fitted at different angles, which makes it impossible for a conversion to P4 unless this is all sorted out. So now let's talk about the pickups. Obviously, Dapol does not use wiper pickups, but uses a split axle method of electrical pickup. But the power is taken from the bearings, which is a very unsatisfactory method. Problems are in the oil, which is needed to lubricate the bearings, interfering with electrical pickup. Also, the phosphor bronze that they use to rub on the bearings is not quite right. So this is my own method of doing the electrical pickup, and is using a 31 SWG gauge phosphor bronze wire, which I picked up from Eileen's Emporium, a huge roll many years ago. The problem is with it is it's completely rolled up and it takes a lot to straighten it. A bit of nickel silver strip, which makes it easy to solder to. Originally I just used to super glue the strip to the plastic chassis using Loctite 435 glue. This was recommended a long time ago on a video and is, I assume, the best glue for gluing plastic to metal. However, I have now modified it just in case over the years it might come adrift by drilling a hole, securing it to the chassis using a 14 BA screw and nut. I would have liked to have used 2, but I can only get 1 in due to all the gears in the chassis. Well, did it all work? Well, you saw on the first video that I did an initial run round some sidings, and that did work, and I was very pleased with the result. However, moving to another part of the model railway layout, the whole thing fell apart. The problem being that the sanding pipes caught in point work and, well, just problems. So here is the loco again, all in parts. I am sure I don't have to tell any railway modeller about the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations of model railways. You can see here in this short video how the sandpipes are almost level with the bottom of the tyre treads. Particular note of the right hand sandpipe shows you what the problem is. Here I am using a steel rule across the bottom of the wheel treads, and I am checking for any interference that the sandpipes may be causing. Obvious of note is on the right hand side, that particular sandpipe, very close. So how have I fared now? Well, this is probably the most difficult part of the layout to test on. It is a right hand point with a reverse curve, and it's next to the start of the incline, so there's a change of level in it as well. Now I find the best way to test a locomotive is without it being attached to the motor mechanism, and also to use your finger on top of the bogie as it goes along along the track. I have found that the finger is the most sensitive and will show up any tight spots, unevenness or small bumps. It will also show up if anything like the sandpipes are touching the rails and causing a problem. These two videos show complete success. The bogies have been tried in both directions, and this one showing here is with a KD coupling attached as well, so I can see whether the coupling is going to cause any fouling of the rails.